Hey everybody, this is Julie, ReadySetStamp.com, and welcome to National Scrapbooking Day with my pink stamper. And each one of us designers are going to be doing our own special thing for a challenge. And so the challenge that I'll be doing is Mother's Day. And so I'm going to be showing you guys how to do an explosion box. But before I do, I really want to show you the gorgeous paper that I'm going to be working with today. I have the black currant stack, and this is from Die Cuts with a View. And I'll go through this pretty quickly, but I just want to show you how gorgeous the papers are. It's so pretty. And some of them I've already taken out, but I just want to show you really quick here because it makes an absolutely gorgeous explosion box. So I'll just kind of flip through them really quick here, but they're just stunning papers. So, and these scraps here are from what I've cut. So let's go ahead and let's get started making the explosion box. Alright, let's get started. Now, everyone does their explosion box a little bit different. There's different variations, and so this is one that I've designed myself that works for me. Let me lift this up just a little bit here so I can kind of back this out a little bit more so you guys can see the whole thing. So this is a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock. This is definitely not the Die Cuts with a View that I was showing you, but this is scrap paper that I'm going to be using since I've already done the cutting myself. I just kind of want to show you how to do this. So this is a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock. You definitely want to use very heavyweight cardstock like a Die Cuts with a View or one of those that's heavyweight. It'll work better for this. So you're going to score it at 4 inches, score it all the way down. Then you're going to turn it, score it at 4 inches, go all the way down 4 inches. So you're going to do this 4 times. All the way down, and then you're going to score it 4 inches all the way down. There we go. So you're going to be left with this 9 square here. It's kind of hard to see, but so if you flip it over, it might be a little bit easier to see the score lines here. And what you're going to do is trim. I use my cutting blade for this, but what you can do is just trim each of the corners off. So you're going to be left with something that looks like a cross. So let me just trim this one off so I can kind of show you where we're going to go with this. So you can make sure and be able to do this yourself. So there's one of the corners that's off. And you just save this because these pieces are great to be using for the project itself. So there's one of the corners. So now let me show you what it'll look like when you actually do the whole thing. This is what it'll look like. Let me pull this up here. So this is it. I've cut all 4 corners off here. You guys see that? All 4 corners off. And then I've scored them. And so this is going to be the actual box. This is what I've chosen for the outside of my box. Isn't that gorgeous? So there's that. And so what you're going to do is do 3 of them this size. So you're going to do 3 of them that are 12 by 12, scored at 4 inches all the way around, and you're going to cut this off. So let me show you my 3. There's one. Here's the second one that's actually going to put ATG tape down here and adhere it down like that. So then when it folds open, it'll look pretty like that. So here's it closed. It'll fold open like that. And then I like to do one more. Remember I said you cut 3 of them. So here's the third. I chose this gorgeous black from the same black currant stack that goes on top. And instead on this one, I trimmed it by 2 inches on each side down here, and then I took a Martha Stewart punch and I punched the bottom of these. And I can't remember the name of this punch. I don't know if this is called trellis. I'm not 100%, so sorry guys, I can't quite remember that. And here's the great thing. Remember these pieces that we cut off here? Well, that is one piece that you can use on the inside here. Isn't that great? So that'll be the piece that goes inside here. So what I'm going to do now off camera is go ahead and tape all of this together. And here's what I would recommend. You can do it any way you want, of course, but this is how I would do it. I'm going to be taping this down onto here, this down, and this down. And I'm going to leave one up and put a white or cream color cardstock to write a little something on here. So one of them will be left to flap so that they can read their little message. And then this, I'm going to glue this completely down because I've done a box here, and the box I have done with the Wrap It Up cartridge, and I did this fit to page. I think it cut at 9 or 9.5 inches. I think it was 9 inches. Folded the box all up, and that's going to go in the center here. And then what I've done on top of that is I cut from Kate's ABCs this gorgeous, and this is what I was saying. Remember what I was saying? Keep these little pieces off here because then you can use them to make things with. So I wanted to keep the colors all coordinating, and so this is what I've done. And I'm going to put this gorgeous little potted plant here, and then I'm going to put one on the opposite side so that you can see it both from each side. So I'm going to do that and put this together as well. And I think I'm going to add a couple more here just to kind of tie this all in. So I'm going to go ahead and glue all these down and then come back. All right, so I wanted to show you this all done up. I have it all double stick taped. And so it's really thick and really strong, which I absolutely love. It's a really good solid base for the box. And then I've gone ahead, I showed you guys how I did this part. And on this, so this, I think I mentioned this is cut at 3.5 inches from Kate's ABCs. This is on page 67 of Kate's ABCs. And I ended up cutting 4 of these, 4 of the black bases here. And the reason why I did that is because I trimmed the actual flower pot off of it, and so that way I could decorate the sides. So there's that. I am going to end up double stick taping because I do need a really good solid base here. So I'll use the Wonder Tape on the bottom of this because I really need a strong adhesive. And we're going to also add some flowers to this. So let me come right back and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, I kind of got a chuckle at myself. I don't know if you guys noticed what I did, but when I taped all these down, I taped them all down and forgot to leave one open so that I could put a little note in for my mom. So anyway, I just lifted one up and then put this backing onto it so that it looked good, and then add this thing here so that I can write a little message to my mom there. So the next step that I've done is cut out a small little piece of paper. It was 2.5 by 2.5. And then I think I did this like 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, and then this one here, I'm not sure the measurements on that, but I just put that on there and added another one of these little pretty stems here for the flower, and added some flowers on there, and these darling stamps from my pink stamper, and it says "Love You, Mom," and they're from 2 different sets. I'll list the set. They're new, so I haven't learned all the names of them yet, but they are adorable. So let me show you what our next step is here. So our next step is that we're going to place the box, and you just need to remember which side. Okay, so that's where it's going to open. So you want it facing this way because this is where, when they open it, it's going to be this direction. So now what I'm going to put some double stick tape down here, but before I do, what I've done is taken some of this green wire, and this is going to act as my stems for the flowers that I've cut out, and I'll show you those in just a second. And what you do here is just take, this part's going to be where you attach the flower, and then you just wrap it around a few times. I think as many times as you want, but I've done 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you leave a little space in between like that, and then you're going to unwind it just a little bit more so that this is what's going to tuck under. Okay, so you're going to tuck these underneath like that with a little double stick tape, and then I'm going to adhere the little flowers onto there in just a second, and when we come back you'll see it all put together. Okay, before I show you the inside of the box and show you how to add the flowers to it, what I'm going to also do is show you the lid. So here's the lid all put together, and then this piece of paper here is actually the 4x4 squares that get cut out from the sides of this. So when you guys remember me cutting out this, let me show you this. You show me, when I showed you this green one, you cut out this square. That's what this was here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to trim these into 1.5 pieces. So these are 1.5, and then I took my Martha Stewart punch and then did this and made this really pretty little thing. So they're 1.5 inches, let's see, 1.5 inches in width and then 4 inches in length. I don't know why that took me so long to figure that out, but anyway. So then we'll use just some ATG tape on it. So let me show you that real quick. I'll probably do it double. I really like to make sure this is adhered well. I really want this to look pretty. This is for my mom, so I want it to look pretty. So I'm going to also add some of this onto it, and I'll clean up that afterwards. So what you do is you just take this and put it right along the top of it. And make sure it's nice and straight here. Got that right there. And then I'm going to press that right along there. I'm going to do this to the 4 sides. It's going to look beautiful when it's all done. So I'll just keep moving along with the other 4 sides. But isn't that gorgeous? I think that turned out so pretty. Come right back. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is the tag that I made. I cut the tag out at 1 3/4 and 1 1/2, and I stamped the same sentiment mom that you guys saw from the inside. And the next thing that I'm going to do is show you how I do the lid. The lid is right here. I showed you guys how to cut that previously. And then what I've done is put Zots down on the inside, or you can use double stick tape. I just like to do this to keep the bow in place on top. And so what I've done is folded this ribbon here in half. So I didn't even measure it. I just kind of I pretended like I went around it and went around it twice. And so I folded this ribbon in half so that I can do, I think this is called a slip knot that goes through here. But you know what? I just realized I got to undo this first. I shouldn't have done that before I did this and slid it through. So I'm going to do this so that I can get it nice and tight on here and then work on making a bow. So I think I'm going to do this off camera because it's going to take me a little bit of time, and then I'm going to tie a bow and we'll come right back. Okay, so here's the finished box. Isn't that just too cute? I think it turned out so pretty, and I know my mom's just going to love it. So here's the piece that I did, and I think this is called a garment pin. It's kind of more bulb shape at the bottom there, and it works really well with this. I just got this at a local craft store. And forget what I was saying about the bow. I just ended up tying it like you normally would. I tied a bow, and then with the leftover pieces here, I tied a bow again. So this is 2 bows, so it looks a little bit more fluffier because that other way didn't work for me. So let me show you what's inside. This is going to be so pretty. I can't wait to show you guys this. Okay, so there it is. Isn't that gorgeous, you guys, with the little flowers that pop around, and it says, "Love you, Mom." I think that is just so beautiful, and I know my mom's going to be tickled pink to get this. Hope you guys have a great day, and for you moms out there, have a wonderful Mother's Day. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.